The Iran deal is dead. So what? The arguments about whether to pull out of this deal or not have been swirling for months, and is likely to be an incredibly contentious decision in an administration already beset with pressures from all sides. We've heard many arguments about whether the Iran deal was a good or a bad thing to do at the time, but what's clear now is the deal is dead. What's important is what does this mean for the future? Where does the US go from here? What does it mean for the Middle East? And will this actually change anything in international diplomacy? For those that push to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal, there are two key issues at stake. Firstly, pulling out of the Iran deal would allow the US to re-engage with Iran and push for a much stronger deal, potentially one that targeted Iran's ballistic missiles and as well tried to curtail Iran's greater political ambitions in the region.
As we exit the Iran deal, we will be working with our allies to find a real, comprehensive, and lasting solution to the Iranian nuclear threat.
The second key pillar of this argument is that by pulling out of the Iran deal, it would give the US a stronger position on the world stage. It would reinvigorate US foreign policy and bring back the old big stick, small carrot diplomatic strategy of the past. The second part of this policy is especially important in regards to North Korea. There are landmark talks coming up between the Kim Jong-un regime and the Donald Trump administration in June of this year. And the Trump administration has argued that by repositioning the US as this sort of strong power in the world, that it'll give them a better position at the bargaining table with a foe that they frankly have not really faced before. But the North Korean situation is also the crux of the argument against pulling out of the deal. Those who want to stay into it with the Iran deal have argued that by pulling out, the US has destroyed any goodwill or sense of trust it had on the world stage, and that other countries that were looking to deal with the US simply wouldn't believe any of the promises that were made in any negotiations. Now, they also say this about Iran, and they point out that Iran really has no incentive to come back to the negotiating table, and if they stick to the current deal, almost have the moral high ground in comparison to the US. They also argue that pulling out of the deal puts the US at loggerheads with EU allies, most of whom have said that they will support the current Iran deal and not back the US's position. This puts the US in a tricky situation considering the amount of work that was required to bring all its allies on board with the deal to begin with.
Britain has no intention of walking away. It falls to the US administration to spell out their view of the way ahead.
But who's going to be proven right in this decision? It's unclear at the moment. The ramifications of this choice are unlikely to be seen for months, if not years to come. But there is one key takeaway. This new strategy is likely to be tested on June 12th in Singapore, when North Korea and Donald Trump sit down for long-awaited peace talks.